Good morning. Yet another day, drive to the office. And interestingly, after a very long time, I actually forgot to give my beautiful little doggy her food. It's never happened. She has a time that I give her her food, which is about 7:30 in the morning. I forgot. I just forgot. Question is why? Someone who remembers and does things very systematically to suddenly forget. Not intentionally, it just happens. I don't know if it's happened with you, but when it does happen, not with just one thing, but with multiple things, do you often wonder why it's happening? So I did a little analysis. And I kept asking myself, why is it that I forget things, not just at home? I forget things at work, I forget things outside, I forget things in the market, when I go to pick up things. Why does this happen? So when I sat down quietly a couple of days ago and I started reflecting, many people handle this forgetfulness in different ways. But let me tell you my story. What is it that I analyze and what I came up with? One is that you've got too much on your plate, just too much.
Sharp curve right ahead.
Intentionally or unintentionally. It so happens that you've got too much on your plate. With a result, something is bound to slip off. The other thing is that we are paying too much attention to one or two things only and not thinking about the other things. With the result, it tends to get missed out. Then, point number 3, we don't delegate. Many of us have this problem, me included. It's taken me a very long time to delegate work, to reduce the burden on my own shoulders, thereby reducing the stuff on my plate. Various reasons. For me, I'm a bit of a, quality freak and a bit of a person who's very, very particular about doing things in a certain way. With a result, it's bound to happen that I'm not going to get somebody who's going to do it like me, so I end up doing it myself. So with the result, I add more pressure to myself. So delegation. Of course, you will delegate depending on who's capable of doing that particular kind of job. The other thing is prioritizing. We're not able to prioritize what should be done at that moment, on that day, that hour, that month, that year. We tend to get mixed up. Many times we tend to get a little scared that if we don't do it, we may forget it. And various other things that come up, which is actually not necessary. It's a matter of just listing it out as to what exactly is to be done, and thereby, creating a sort out list and to-do list. The other thing that happens to us is that we tend to get distracted by multiple things happening. And it happens to all of us, especially those who live in cities, who have, multiple responsibilities on various fronts. Tends to get a little overbearing, and then you kind of lose it. So that's another thing that happens. Bottom line, how do you get out of all this? You can't escape it. Responsibilities have to be carried out, but you can definitely reduce that burden on yourself. So what I've done is I write in my diary, I make notes on my phone. I have a little whiteboard with a marker of 2 colors, red and blue. So all those that are urgent, I write in red, and all those that I need to do over a period of time, I write it in blue. And it's right there in front of me. In fact, it's in front of my cupboard. So every time I'm passing up and down, walking through my room towards my cupboard, I see that board, and it's there. But the thing is, I don't have to burden myself in my mind that I've got to remember it, because that thing is there. And that I found is a great solution to reduce some of that weight that you carry in your mind. Diaries, notebooks, we don't know. Sometimes we open it, sometimes we don't open it. Yeah, like me, I carry it in my bag, and there are times for 2-3 days I don't take out my diary. Otherwise, I write everything in it. But as a backup to that, I have it on my system, I have it on my phone. So, what I'm trying to say is that we create multiple points where you note down what is it that you need to do. It's like putting a date of somebody's birthday or anniversary on your calendar, and that thing pops up. So, you don't have to burden yourself so much. So, for example, my little 4-legged daughter Zoe, she's running out of her food. So I had written it in my diary, I had written it on my calendar. I sent a message to the pet shop, and by evening I should be getting her food. Item, to-do list, it's ticked off and everything is fine. So the point I'm trying to make here, and I'll conclude over here, is please don't overburden yourself. You need to be a little organized in your way of thinking, in your way of working. Look, what needs to be done needs to be done. So there's no point fretting over it. Sometimes we get help, sometimes we won't get help. So that's fine. As long as you are organized and you prioritize what has to be done and what could be done later and what need not be done for a certain period of time, to that degree you will lessen that burden of yours. So why don't you try it out? Be a little more organized, be a little more disciplined. Yes, that's the word, disciplined. A lot of people don't like it, but that's the way to do it. And then see how it works for you. Be organized, be disciplined, and unstrap yourself